Well, I hope you have had the time of your life. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Movie Emporium's movie review of Nimrods, inspired by Green Day and directed by Kirk. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this movie Nimrods is in essence similar to, I would say, Detroit Rock City, where it's a story of individuals who love a band like Green Day, who are also trying to be a band like Green Day, and find themselves on a road trip because they are lied to by one of the characters' brothers, who says that they're going to open for Green Day on New Year's Eve. So therefore the road trip happens. Well, in the essence of this movie, it's an inspiration of kind of the stories that Green Day had gone through to become a band right before Dookie came out. The ideas of like being brothers, being, individuals who work together, who want to achieve a goal. And that's what this movie is doing, where it is these characters of Tommy, Fred, and Chad who basically travel from Kansas City to Los Angeles to basically try to rise themselves in the ranks as a band called Anal Dogs, or Analog Dogs as they're actually called. And it basically follows their story. It follows kind of a fantastical, inspirational style story of three boys who want to play for Green Day in a lot of respects. And it has people like McKenna Grace and, Fred Armisen and Bobby Lee and Jenna Fischer and Angela Kinsey. It basically is a quote unquote inspirational style story that is inspired by some of the things that Green Day went through to become the band that they are known today. And of course they are in the movie because they are producers, and it is what it is. They're Green Day, so they're in this movie, so it is kind of their story in a lot of respects. So Green Day, of course, is a hugely influential band. They're considered like one of the great pop punk bands of all time. They, of course, put out Dookie and Nimrod and American Idiot, some of the most successful pop punk albums of all time. But I wouldn't call myself like the biggest Green Day fan of all time. I know their hits. I know them pretty well. I like them. But they aren't like, my top tier level of band, but I can see the significance of what they've done in their history of becoming musicians. And this movie wanted to play off that, use their songs and use kind of the pop punk feel that they went through as, struggling artists trying to make themselves into the annals of musicdom and stuff like that. And then of course Kerplunk came out, it kind of rose their status, and then Dookie came out and became what it was. And so this movie wants to try to have that pop punk feel, but also wants to kind of be inspirational and kind of have the story kind of fill in that some of the stuff they may have went through, like the broke down vehicles or so on and so forth. I mean, it's not a Green Day movie, but it is inspired by some of the stories that Green Day went through. So I like those kind of movies. I know Detroit Rock City is a little bit of a different movie, but going into it, that's what the trailer at least felt like. So kind of use the kind of big band as kind of a center point for what this movie is trying to do. And of course, there are three band members and stuff like that. So going into this movie, I was, intrigued by at least watching it. So that leads to my honest review of this movie. And I thoroughly enjoyed it, to be fairly honest. It's not the most logical movie. It's not the most, what I would call, it's more fantastical because of some of the things they do, some of the things that these three characters get away with. But it's an entertaining movie. It uses the score very well. It uses the drive of these characters very well. They have their angst. They're very young individuals, even though they're in their 20s. They're technically supposed to be 17 in this movie. But it gives you the kind of the idea of like what it takes for individuals to drive and have purpose, even though they're being lied to, of course, by their brother. But I understand like fandoms. I understand like doing a YouTube channel. It feels very much the same, even though it's not, where I am inspired by some of the bigger creators to do the best I can with what I have. And that's all you can ask for. And, I go through the trials and tribulations that everyone goes through. And I'm not the biggest channel in the world, but I feel like I have, a good head on my shoulders and stuff like that. But watching these individuals makes you feel like, it doesn't matter what you do and what you try not to do. As long as you have a purpose and as long as you try to do that purpose, that's what, it entails and what it becomes successful. I mean, even if you're not successful, it is what it is. And I really appreciate that. And I think that's what Kirk, who's of course married to Jenna Fischer, who was in this movie as Tommy's mother, really just that's what they're trying to say, and I think they do a nice job doing that. And I think the movie's like, it's not like the most coherent movie. It does a lot of stupid things and a lot of illogical things, but I think it's a movie that's just fun. I think it's a movie that's entertaining. I think it's a movie that knows what it is, which is taking the songs and kind of driving the story forward. And I think the three main characters, Ryan Foust, Kylr Coffman, and Mason Thames, who's the main characters, really show and really understand and really inject into this movie. And they, you know, they have stop points similar to like a Pee-wee's Big Adventure, or, you know, like I said, Detroit Rock City, or like Sex Drive or something like that, where they fall into these like really comedic moments of like they play in a country biker bar, or they play in this kind of place where they find McKenna's Grace's character, which is like kind of a, you know, a pop punk style world with like skateboards and stuff like that. And then they, of course, get a car gets broken down, and of course they do some stupid things. And, you know, one of the characters is similar to the character in Road Trip, who has like the credit card and the stuck up mom and stuff like that. And then, you know, you have the one that's kind of not the smartest person in the world, and then you have Mason Thames and stuff like that. And it really is just about three characters going on a journey and finding themselves on that journey. And it does a really nice job, you know, watching them, you know, interact with Fred Armisen and Jenna Fischer and Angela Kinsey and everybody else, as well as Bobby Lee and then the Green Day band members. It's just, there's not much to it when it comes to the story. It's really just a road trip movie that, you know, these three characters do come into crazy things that, you know, I'm sure Green Day did when they were trying to become a band. And it is what it is when it comes to that thing. So it really feels like there's an earnestness to it. There feels like an honestness to it. Yes, it's using Green Day, which is a multi-million, very rich band at this point. But of course, it leads to exactly where you think it's going to lead to. And it does exactly what you think it's going to do. And it's going to have the moments that you think it's going to have. And it plays out at the end. Of course, the band's going to show up because it is kind of a movie that they're producing and stuff like that. So Nimrods is a fun movie. It's an entertaining movie. It's not the most original movie, but it uses the Green Day kind of effect to a pop punk, you know, good natured thing. And it's an entertaining movie. So that's my take on Nimrods. It'll be in theaters. And I hope if you like Green Day, I hope you enjoy it. So with that said, that's my take. I do appreciate it. In the comments below, what is your favorite Green Day song if you're a huge Green Day fan? Are you looking forward to this movie if you're a Green Day fan? Let me know in the comments. But otherwise, if you like what you see on this channel, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium. Hit that notification bell at the top to find what's coming next. If you like this video, awesome. Hit that like button. And as always, we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out, guys.